Before we really dive into this one, let me say this. If you're the type of player who loves games that don't tell you what to do, games where systems collide, chaos emerges naturally, and every playthrough turns into its own weird story, you're going to want to stay until the end of this video. Because Streets of Rogue 2 isn't just a sequel. It's a massive step forward for freedom-driven sandbox games. Streets of Rogue 2 drops you into a huge, living, procedurally generated open world where almost everything is interactive, destructible, and reactive. The main goal sounds simple on paper. Overthrow a corrupt president and take control of the county. But how you get there is completely, wildly up to you. And that's where this game really shines. From the first minutes, you can feel how different this is from more structured RPGs. There are no rails. No strict quest order, no correct solution. You can fight your way through problems, sneak around them, hack systems, manipulate NPCs, build an empire, cause total anarchy, or just ignore the main objective entirely and do your own thing. The game doesn't judge you, it reacts to you. The gameplay is a mix of roguelike structure, RPG progression, and immersive sim design. You choose from dozens of different classes, each with their own strengths, weaknesses, and playstyles. Or you can create your own custom character and break the rules even further. Want to be a hacker who never fires a gun? You can. Want to be a ninja who solves everything with stealth and melee takedowns? Totally viable. Want to run a farm, become rich, bribe everyone, and overthrow the government with money instead of violence? That works too. What makes it so engaging is how all these systems interact. NPCs have routines, relationships, and reactions. Buildings can be destroyed. Vehicles can be stolen. Items can be combined in unexpected ways. You might plan something carefully, only for a random event to spiral into absolute chaos, and suddenly you're improvising your way out of a mess you didn't plan. Those moments feel organic, not scripted, and they're often the most memorable parts of the experience. The world itself is massive. The map is more than 10,000 times larger than a single level from the first Streets of Rogue, and it really feels like it. You move between neon-lit cities, quiet countryside, creepy graveyards, underground caves, sunny islands, and all kinds of strange locations in between. Each area has its own vibe, its own challenges, and its own opportunities for mischief. Visually, the game keeps a stylized, top-down look, but everything feels more alive and detailed than before. Animations are expressive, environments are packed with interactive elements, and destruction adds a layer of chaos that never gets old. Explosions don't just look good, they change how you move through the world. Walls collapse, rooms open up, and suddenly a quiet situation turns into complete madness. It's not about realism, it's about clarity, personality, and readability, which fits the gameplay perfectly and makes even the most chaotic moments easy to follow. One of the biggest upgrades is how much deeper the systems go compared to the first game. You're not just completing levels anymore. You're shaping a living world that reacts to your choices. Your actions have consequences that ripple outward in ways you don't always expect. NPCs remember what you do, they talk to each other, they hold grudges, or they start trusting you more. Factions react to your behavior, sometimes opening doors for you, other times actively hunting you down. Entire areas can change depending on how you handle situations, and the game constantly asks, "Okay, what happens next?" and then actually answers that question in surprising ways. Co-op is another huge part of Streets of Rogue 2. You can play the entire game solo, but teaming up with friends takes the chaos to a completely different level. Local and online co-op both allow multiple players to approach the same problem in wildly different ways at the same time. One player might be negotiating with NPCs, another hacking security systems, while a third is accidentally starting a massive fight across town. Plans fall apart, new plans emerge on the fly, and the game never feels scripted. It feels like a shared story you're all creating together in real time. What I really love is that the game never forces you to optimize the fun out of it. You don't need the perfect build. You don't need to min-max every stat or follow some meta strategy. You're encouraged to experiment, to fail, to laugh at the consequences, and then adapt. The roguelike elements make failure feel meaningful instead of frustrating, because even when things go wrong, it's just another chapter in a story that's uniquely yours. Replayability is absolutely massive. Because the world is procedurally generated, classes play so differently, and player choices matter so much, no two runs ever feel the same. One playthrough might be a careful, stealthy political takeover where you barely fire a weapon. The next might be total madness involving explosions, zombies, mercenaries, hacked turrets, and accidental fires spreading across half the map. Both are valid, both are fun, and both feel completely different. And despite all the chaos, the game still has a surprisingly cozy side. You can slow things down, build something meaningful, start a farm, trade with NPCs. Just exist in the world without chasing the main objective at all. That flexibility is rare in modern games, and it's one of the reasons Streets of Rogue 2 feels so special. It respects your time and your curiosity. Underneath all the humor and absurdity, there's clearly a lot of smart design at work. The developers didn't just make things bigger, they made them deeper. It's obvious they listened to years of community feedback from the first game. Systems are smoother, interactions feel more intentional, and everything connects in ways that reward experimentation. It truly feels like a sandbox that doesn't just allow you to break it, it wants you to. Streets of Rogue 2 isn't a game for players who want strict direction or perfectly balanced, predictable outcomes. It's for players who enjoy discovery, experimentation, and stories that emerge naturally from gameplay. If you love games like RimWorld, Kenshi, Valheim, Terraria, or Dwarf Fortress, games where systems matter more than scripted moments, this is absolutely one to keep an eye on. By the time you finish a session, you don't just remember what you did. You remember what happened, the chaos, the mistakes, the unexpected victories, and the moments where everything went wrong in the best possible way. You remember the plan that fell apart, the improvisation that saved you, and the random event that completely changed the direction of your run. Those moments stick with you because they weren't scripted. They happened naturally because the systems allowed them to happen. That's where the real magic of Streets of Rogue 2 lies. It doesn't try to impress you with cutscenes or force emotional moments. Instead, it lets you create your own stories through play. Every decision matters, even the small ones, and the world reacts in ways that feel surprisingly personal. Whether you succeed, fail, or cause absolute chaos, the game treats it as a valid outcome and keeps moving forward. And that's why no two sessions ever feel the same. One run might feel clever and controlled, another might feel ridiculous and completely out of hand, but both are equally memorable. You walk away not with a checklist of completed objectives, but with stories you'll actually want to tell. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to be here. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to see more deep dives into creative sandbox games like this, feel free to leave a like or share your own experiences in the comments. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.